Welcome to the second episode of Press Pass with Chris. I'm Chris Aguirre. Happy to be joined today by Elon Paige, the founder of Purposefield. So, Elon, I appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me today, man.
Appreciate you, my good man. Appreciate you. Day one, day one.
Exactly. 2013, man.
Man,
That's when I met
man,
you back in Kingsburg.
man, the beginning, the beginning.
So, just for those that aren't familiar with it, what do you do at Purposefield?
So basically, Purpose Field is a character and leadership development program. I work with all levels of athletes, from professional to collegiate to high school, all the way down to young kids. And basically, the focus is just building from the inside out. Teaching kids how to be leaders in their communities, leaders on their campuses, leaders at the household, and how to use sports to be better. How to become better as individuals using sports. Using it as that channel. To change lives. We don't want to be just known as what we play. We're going to be bigger than that. We're going to take that and we're going to use it as our platform to speak out and just to be great into the world.
Hey, that's great. Why was it important for you, to start a program like this here in the Valley? I know, like I said, a little backstory. I met you back in 2013. Two of your kids, Jonathan Garola and Tyler Hodges, back in 2013 in Kingsburg. I did a story on them when I was working at the Kingsburg Recorder. But back then, why was it important for you to start a program like this? Here in the Central Valley.
I felt that there was a need. There's a need for something different. There's a niche that needed to be filled, and this is not just in Fresno. There's a niche. I think just across the country. Just men and women. People that have gone on to do whatever in their careers, but just people to come back and just to be a light and to plant positive seeds within the youth. The youth have so many different directions they can go right now. Different, especially with social media, there's so many different things pulling at them in different directions. And we just need that general, that organic, leadership, those role models, just to come in and to change lives. And I just try to be that light. I try to be that beacon and try to be as motivational as I can and as inspirational as I can, and really show kids that, hey, you could be anything you want, but you got to make sure you serve first. You got to be kind to others, and you got to make sure you position yourself for greatness in the things that you do and the words that you say.
I know, part of Purposefield is you do athletic training stuff. But why was it important also to to try to preach to the student athletes that you do train, that outside to be successful outside of sports? I mean, why was that an important aspect of it too?
Coming from the background that I was raised in, character, faith, leadership, servitude, those are the things that were planted within me at a young age. Those virtues carried me through my successes, and I just wanted to make sure that I returned what I learned plus more, and give back that wisdom. So it's proven to work. Of course, you're going to add your own flair to it, but at the end of the day, it's all about just making sure that you're being, detailed, and you're making sure you're following through and being committed. So if you say you want to be great, are you doing great things that reflect that greatness that you speak of? Because if you're not, then basically we become hypocrites. So what I really try to do is just encourage my kids to go beyond just the field, go beyond just the court, go beyond just whatever sport that you're playing, and make sure that you're that person inside that people look to and say, wow, that person's great. That person's a leader. That person's going to change the world one day. That goes beyond just, hey, he can score a touchdown. He can run real fast. He can shoot. That goes so much further beyond that. And I just see it in my own life, even right now as an adult, is people don't look at me, as just that guy that used to play football. They look at, oh, that guy, he's down doing that. He's doing this with the people. He's doing that in the community. And that means so much more because that's going to carry me, that's going to carry my legacy, when I'm gone.
Exactly, and I know another part of Purposefield is you guys do a lot of community outreach. I know personally for you, you guys help the homeless. I know on Saturdays, right now you're helping distribute food at University Presbyterian Church, I believe. So I mean, how does it make you feel too that a lot of the student athletes that you do train, and do mentor, they take as teenagers, they take part of their Saturdays, to go out there and help you do that. I mean, how does that make you feel?
It's absolutely amazing, just watching those kids, in their element, just, a lot of those kids, come from privilege, they come from wealth, and some don't, but, it's just so good to see how they look at the other side of the spectrum. They say, okay, wow, I really have it good. I thought I had it bad at home, but man, I see this person with no shoes, this person with no food, and it really puts things into perspective, and they start to see the world differently. They really understand how important it is to really always look for the next individual, look at how you can uplift somebody else using the gifts that you have, and be grateful, even for the small things, and understand that you're so blessed, in this life. And I see kids now as they're so motivated, they're texting me the night before, hey, coach, what time is the service? What time can I come out? I got this for you. Can I come drop this off? And that's what I love. They're excited about it. They want to. It's not, oh man, I gotta wake up early, or I gotta come to this. I want to go hang out with my friends. Like, they're really motivated to come join in, and I love that. Because that shows that they're becoming leaders in their own right. It's not just about me as the leader trying to direct them to go a certain way. It's about them taking their own mantle, because one day, I'm not gonna be here. They're gonna have to lead their own flock. So that's what I like to see. It's very, very exciting to see.
I know another, following you on social media, and knowing you, as a person, I know one of the things that you're big at is you don't just, have purpose field as far as training athletes, on the field or for their respective sports, or them helping you out. You're also like a life coach to some of these. They're always able to text you when they need advice, or call you, or you'll be at their games. Why is that important to to be involved in their lives, and not just be like a coach, training them to do athletics, or just seeing them when there's community outreach? Why is it important to you, to have them be able to just rely on you whenever they need?
I think it comes down to my upbringing. I always had, my mom and dad were always there for me for anything, not just sports. And, even though sports was a part of my life, it wasn't a major focus. Like, my parents were always making sure that I was mentally, spiritually, they're always making sure I was on point, with just my attitude. And I think that took me further in life than what football ever did. And so I make sure that, what I'm doing right now is I'm always targeting the spirit. When I'm building these relationships with these kids, and I'm so close to all my kids. That's the thing about me, my mentees, is I'm connected with them. One of my kids, just FaceTime me, not too long ago, just to say hi, and that's the kind of relationship, that I want to have. I want kids to be able to come to me for anything, if they're feeling this way, if they had a heartbreak, your boyfriend broke up with them, if they're struggling on the field, whatever that they feel like maybe they can't talk about with their parents, they can come to me as a big bro, and I'm just going to give them that life. I'm going to give them that wisdom that I've had, and I'm just going to minister to them and try to uplift them, so they can go out and be better. But, it's so much more than just training. Now, I almost, in a way, I almost feel offended when people call me a trainer, because it's like, man, I do this much training, probably this much of it, but, it's part of it. It's how we reach the kids, the training part, the physical part is how we reach the kids. At the end of the day, it's about the life. It's about the ministry. It's about the servitude. It's about planting these seeds within these kids that they're gonna be, way stronger than what I put into them. With the weights and the running and the football stuff, they're gonna be way stronger than that, because they're gonna have that life, and they're gonna have that spirit in them to go out to the world and know they can accomplish anything that they want.
And speaking of that, if you follow Elon on social media, he always posts updates about, some of the athletes that he, or student athletes that he does mentor and stuff. And I saw, the other day, you even went with one of your athletes to open some financial investment stuff, at a bank. So like you said, like these life lessons, that the student athletes are learning. I mean, is there, I know another one you talk about is the image, that you portray to yourself. What do you always tell them about, like, the image, especially nowadays, with social media, you're always, you could always make one mistake, that could, cost you. So why is image, such a big thing that you preach to them?
Image is critical because, sadly, we can't control, the perceptions that people have of us. Everybody's going to have their idea of who you are. But at the end of the day, it's your actions and your seeds that you plant into the world that defines you. And those things are objective. You can look at something and say, okay, he's doing this, this, and this, so he's that. So none of anybody's opinions or judgments of you matter, because what you have on your resume speaks for itself. So I tell these kids to make sure you just secure it. Don't have any evidence that somebody can come back on you and point that and say, okay, you did this, look what you posted, look what you said to that person, look what, whatever you got in trouble at school. We want to always make sure that our resume is impeccable. So when they look at it, okay, all right, I can't say anything. I have nothing against this. So a lot of my kids, they really get it. They really understand it, especially with, like you said, with the social media. We don't bully. We don't curse. We don't use the N word. We don't post music with explicit lyrics. There's all kind of things that are small that you might not even think about it, but those things manifest, and those things are what people see, and what maybe an employer down the line might see, and then automatically those become judgments. So what we want to do is we want to control the environment, and we want to control the things that we're advertising, like a product, and make sure that we're putting out what's able to be sold and what's able to be picked up.
Exactly, and I know another thing about you. You're not afraid to speak up. When there's injustice or there's an issue. And I know this summer, obviously the nation went through a social justice, kind of movement and stuff. And I know you were one of the ones that was out there in the community trying to unite everybody. And at River Park there was an event, and I know you spoke there with some other people, and it just showed that one person or a group of people could help unite. Why is that important to you, just to always speak up, but speak up positively to try to unite people?
Definitely. Man, that's deep. But understandably, I know a lot of people are sometimes afraid, and it's tough to step outside of your element and to be uncomfortable. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to be confident in who I am and assertive in helping people. So like I said, if I see anybody that's hurt, anybody that's marginalized, anybody that's disenfranchised, anybody that has a legitimate quarrel going on that's oppressing them and that's causing injustice, it's my duty, not just as an individual, but as a Christian, just to speak up and to be like, hey, that's not right, and to provide viable solutions for ways to get to those. And for me, sometimes it may not be received a certain way because maybe I come from privilege, understanding my background, coming from, the son of an NFL player and so forth. People may say, oh, why are you into this? You're privileged. You haven't been oppressed. And see, it's not about me. It's not about what I've been through. At the end of the day, I'm still a black man, but, I face some of the things that others, but maybe not at the level, that they have, because sometimes privilege does protect you. But at the end of the day, it's because I have that privilege and I have access to those resources that I have to speak up, and I have to be vocal, and I have to step in and say, okay, I have this. What can I do to help you? What resources can I position, to help you, for whatever you're going through? And to be silent, is to be complicit. We hear that a lot. And I'm not a person that's going to sit back, while somebody's getting brutalized and while somebody's getting stepped on. I just don't think that that's something that's going to help us all grow, as people. If we're going to find solutions, we have to have everybody off the ground. You can't have people on the ground. You can't talk to them, and try to have solutions when you're beating them up. We have to have an eye-to-eye conversation.
Exactly. So I know, a couple of the former people that you mentored, like Juju Hughes, he just finished the season with the Los Angeles Rams. I know Adrian Martinez, was at Nebraska, starting quarterback. I know a lot of the athletes that you have trained too, they're getting 4-year scholarships. I know Taryn, I believe, got softball scholarship to Fresno State. And so whenever you see some of the athletes that you mentor or you have a bond with, be successful like that, make the NFL or play college sports, and I know you're big on more, like you said, it's just outside of sports, so you have to have good grades, to get those type of things too. So I mean, whenever you see a success like that coming from somebody you built a bond with, I mean, how does that make you feel as well, that they're gonna besides sports, they're going to be able to get an education, and further their lives in a positive way?
Oh yeah, that's what we, that's ultimately, that's the goal we're trying to, on the sports side, that's the goal we're trying to get to, is we're trying to reach the maximum, level of play, within our, whether it's NCAA or whether it's professional, we're trying to reach the maximum, and to see, my kids, my mentees reaching those levels is just absolutely incredible, because there's so much work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. There's a lot of nights where I'm on FaceTime and they're crying and I'm feeling this way and coach is doing this, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on that people don't know about. So you see that, and you see that pinnacle, and it's like, okay, thank you, Lord. This is it. That's that favor that we've been working for this whole time, and you see that blessing take hold, and then it's uphill from there, and it doesn't stop. Just because we reach that level, we're not done. I tell Tammy, another one of my girls that plays basketball, and just because we're here doesn't mean that's it. We still got work to do. We come here with a purpose. You know, we're coming on this campus to be successful, to be dominant, and also we're going to use our platform, you know, as leaders and all the stuff that I've learned over these years. We're going to use my platform that I have within this world, you know, to really change lives and to speak up and to save the people that are hurt.
Cool deal. So, Elon, if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about Purpose Field, where could they go? Where can they find you at?
You can go to www.purposefield.com. Purposefield, Field.
Cool deal. Well, I appreciate you, taking the time out and chatting with me, and I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, my guy. Keep doing a great job in the community. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.